Hey, this is a podcast. No, wait, it's a comedy podcast. Well, we tried to make it a comedy podcast, and it's not meant to offend anyone. So don't get offended, okay? And wait, there's something else. Oh, yeah, yeah. Listener discretion is advised.
Audiomatic presents Our Last Week.
Hi, Kunaal.
Hi, how are you, pal?
I'm a little fried, man.
Fried, is it?
Yeah. I'm in the middle of a house move.
Yeah,
My mum is in town.
that's good.
It is good. It's good. I mean, this opens up a lot of conundrums about Indian parents and children relationships. I think there's a number of things one could discuss because it's established fact that parents everywhere in the world are parents, so they're crazy. That's why they are parents.
Yeah,
You know, like I'm sure you guys as parents will become those parents.
we already are. We are. We are those parents.
The moment your kids are in your 20s and you guys are on the other side of 40, then you become like, your jokes will also become like that.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that, see, there are a couple of things here. One is that when, like, say, your mum has now come to visit you.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing that happens is, and this happens to even people who live abroad whose parents come to visit them
Yeah,
from, say,
yeah.
India or wherever else in the world. Because I see a lot of parents coming back and saying, they're very busy, huh? They're very busy. They don't have time, not
Yeah.
1 minute. And the thing is that actually they have time.
Yeah.
It's not, but
They
have
just
to
don't
make
want to
the-
spend
they
it
just want to
with-
spend it, and they want to make it seem as though they're damn busy.
Yeah.
And the same thing must be happening in your home also right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know
And
you're in the middle of a shift, but mostly you will have see, if they weren't there,
I have ours,
you have a lot of time in the middle.
but I
One
just want to
phone call.
spend it with me.
Yeah, and the thing is that when your mum is there, you're going to make it out to be like your day is packed.
Yeah.
There's no time to breathe.
Yeah.
I'm up at 8:30.
Basically, what we do as kids is fill the time.
Yeah.
So it gives us the least amount of time to speak to them about. Because what happens is, you see, first, the trajectory is if you live in a big city like Mumbai or Delhi or even Bangalore or Chennai, if you have a visiting parent, the first, you haven't seen the parent in a bunch of months. So the first reaction always is, oh, my parent is old, love, etc. I'm going to take care of my parents. I love my parents very much. That lasts about 2 days. After 2 days, you realize why you left home in the first place. Right? Because the parents then start judging your kitchen, your values, your life system. They start taking over the maid. So because its parents have no propriety that it's somebody
Yeah.
else's house. And then you realize, oh, but I've worked so hard
To achieve this.
to achieve whatever is not my original home.
Yeah. I wanted to mess it up in this way.
In this particular way. But whatever I've done are my decisions.
Yeah.
Right? And then all those ghosts from the past come back.
Right.
So you realize, okay, now this has just become my life growing up. So how do I get out of this? They're here for 10 more days. So let me fill their schedule with everything possible. So I'm very busy. So I have very little time to spend with them. And I think this is true for most young working professionals. Because after the first 3 or 4 days, any sets of parents visiting, the husbands, the wives, they very quickly realize that these people are mad. Then the couple actually reunite.
Yeah.
If there was some love lacking between them, they suddenly find that love again because they're like, we must fight this force together against the visiting in-law. So when that old life enters, and the old life doesn't enter gently, it's sort of like if you are an American or a British parent or European parent, you realize, oh, this is a couple in their 40s. I'm just going to settle in. And I'm going to be humble and docile and stay like a house guest.
It's like a storm.
Yeah, it's a storm. And also, if the couple have kindly prepared an itinerary, right? If I was a Western parent, I would go with the itinerary. They've planned a film for me, a dinner, etc. Oh, how grateful. The Indian parent is not like that. It's like, oh, no, I don't want to go to that. I don't want to change that. I have this other. Let's go.
This was not the idea.
Yeah, yeah. And that'll be boring. That's how. So they'll not only mess up, but they're doing this because in some weird way they're trying to show love.
Yeah.
They want to save the children's money,
Yeah.
but they're doing it in a way of like, oh, then why are we going all the way to South Bombay to watch that? No, it's fine. Let's stay at home. So then the children are upset.
Correct.
Because they're like, we took all this time to make this itinerary. You don't deserve my itinerary.
Right.
Then nobody's speaking to each other.
No.
So that's why now that there's no communication, what you do is the kids fill their time by saying office. I got very busy.
Oh,
this,
I have a
that.
meeting. I'm at
Meeting,
home, but I
work,
have meetings all
meeting.
day.
And then the parent also retreats saying,
Yeah.
oh, they're very busy. They have no time.
No time.
So it begins with some hope.
Hmm.
But in 3-4 days, the whole thing collapses.
Right. And it
Have you
goes
seen
back,
this, like-
And it goes back to being like how it was in school. And all.
In school, yeah. Then nobody's talking to each other. Like that kind of.
I've always been intrigued, and you keep thinking, oh, this won't happen to me as a parent. Like my kids will always be so. They'd want to spend time with me
Because
and all.
I'll be a friend.
I'll be I'm going to be different, but at some point in life you realize that no, it's going to be exactly the same.
See,
They're just not going to want to spend time with you. See, what happens is that if you become too much of a friend,
Yeah.
your children can unfriend you also.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's just a friend, but I'm not his friend anymore.
Yeah.
But if you're a parent and you stay a parent, you
Yeah.
can't unparent a parent.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, okay, you might not want to have anything to do with the thing, but it's still a parent.
Yeah.
But now if I'm too much of a friend and I'm like, do this thing and I'm like,
Chuck
this,
him
this,
out.
like, nah,
I need-
unfriend,
Yeah.
unfollow. So, what is the general atmosphere now in your home? Like, what is your
good question. Though now it's calm.
Now it's fine.
Initially, it was warm
Hmm.
because I had not seen my parents in a while. Then they started becoming parents again.
Hmm.
So when I say they become parents, it's like now it takes an hour to order food.
Hmm.
Like on where to go is a 45-minute decision because whatever decisions I had made, because they are not Western parents, discarded.
Correct.
But there's no replacement plan. So
Yeah.
those are being made on the fly. So complete chaos.
Right.
So now it's reached a point where I've retreated back into work
Hmm.
and they have retreated back on their phone,
Yeah.
talking to their friends, etc. So it's gone back to how I grew up when I was 9 or 10 years
Nice.
old. Yeah.
Choose
Like
well,
right
so-
now, my mother is having some issue with GPay.
Hmm.
Meaning she sent GPay some $20 to someone. That guy claimed he didn't get it.
Hmm.
So she thinks that Google has stolen that $20.
Hmm.
So she doesn't want to. So every day she has to go to the bank now. So that is an added thing because she wants to withdraw cash because she doesn't trust Google.
Hmm.
So now this is insanity, but controlled insanity because you expect this sort of insanity from a parent.
Right. Right.
Like, okay, now my mother doesn't believe in Google, in GPay.
Hmm.
So she wants to do cash. Now another 2 hours of my day are gone.
Gone.
So
But that's what I'm saying. So now whether you want to now dealing with this insanity is your life.
yeah.
If you didn't deal with it, and if you didn't like have to deal with these issues and like it takes up 2 hours of your time, go to the bank, then do all these other things, then what would you do with your time? Then it would be one relationship less, but then your life would be a little less.
I could fill it with lots of things. I
Other
could play
better
tennis.
things.
I could do
You
something.
could be a fitter person.
I'd be much fitter. I mean, I'm not getting. Nobody's asked me. You see, why do white people live longer? Because they've had this time to explore a non-insane life, right? We in India don't. Like my mom right now is at a lunch and insisted she wanted one particular kind of set of flowers to give this other lady who she's meeting who's blind. But she likes the smell of those other kinds of flowers. So we drove around Bandra for an hour and a half looking for these particular kind of flowers. And eventually the flower she bought it in a particular kind of vase rather than just a bouquet,
Right.
which when we reached the restaurant dripped all over the floor.
Right.
And then we had to apologize to the other patrons because now there is a completely wet floor of a Chinese restaurant. And that lady, when we sat down, gave it to her. She said, I'm blind, but I've lost my sense of smell today. So it was an hour and a half for a lady who couldn't smell the flowers also. Now, in that time, I know you're laughing, but in that time, I could have been a world-renowned chess player.
Yeah.
So when you're saying take out the insanity, what would I do? I'd find something to do. Most Indians would find something to do if they didn't have that insanity. And I think it's a fundamental reason why the West is a developed economy and we are developing.
It's because we're dealing with not only our own insanity,
Correct.
and not only our children's insanity, but our parents' insanity as
Correct.
well. And sometimes not only our parents, but our parents' siblings' insanities also.
Oh God, joint family. I don't even want to go there.
Won't go there. But I'm saying that basically we're dealing with too many insanities, and you're saying that the point of life is to try and reduce the number of insanities you have to deal with.
That's all I'm saying. It's just reduce it so you can learn a language.
The problem is I don't think I do any of those things.
But again, not doing anything is also your
It's
personal
also
choice.
is a choice, yeah. But to deal with the insanity,
If you just sat in your living room for an hour and a half, instead of looking for one particular kind of carnations that smell a particular kind of way,
yeah.
for a lady that can't smell, now you could have done something else with that hour and a half,
You could have.
right? So this is what I mean.
So it's going well, basically. Your
It's
mum
going
says,
very
yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
not only has she driven me crazy, my cook, because she wanted to go to the market with my cook to buy chicken, and after that my cook has said pretended to fall ill for the next 2 days because my cook is clever enough because she can bunk.
But you can't bunk.
I can't pretend to be ill. My cook went for one walk with my mum to a chicken shop
That's it.
and subsequently disappeared. My very reliable cook of 15 years.
Yeah.
Not coming. Because she has seen something that I've known since 1976. She must have got into something about her cooking and how terrible she is and chicken. Now I've lost a cook. But other people and non-family can tap out.
Yeah.
We can't tap out.
So she's taken the call not to deal with the insanity.
Yeah.
And she has the option.
Because she knows she's got insanity in her own house. The cook must have a
Actually,
mother-in-law.
I'm dealing with my own shit over there.
Yeah.
I don't need this one more thing to deal with. And also that bloody
I like
Anuvab
the
also.
guy, but the guy is whatever. He's low
Yeah.
key, he comes and goes. I make his food. He's low hassle guy. But his mom now, this is like working in a real
Next
Indian
level.
household.
Yeah.
So if I have to deal with that, then fuck this
Opting
shit.
out.
I'm out. Kunaal,
Yes.
I have a conundrum about Indian weddings.
Okay.
I attended a wedding where the father of the groom said, I'll have a word with the father of the bride about some issue during the wedding. There was some sensitive issue, some logistics planning about the wedding. And I realized in modern Indian weddings how little the parents have any say. Because the father of the bride went and spoke to the father of the groom, and the father of the groom said, no, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. And then he went to his son and said something, and his son told him, fuck off. And the father of the bride went and said something to the bride, and the bride told the dad to fuck off. And you realize that parents nowadays, have no role in the future of their children. Even in arranged marriage situations, increasingly, it's the kids that are deciding everything about the lives they want. So now, is it still important for people to say he's from a good family? What does it matter anymore?
Yeah. I think they are becoming guests at the wedding.
Yeah.
See what my son, or see what my daughter has organized.
Yeah.
They're paying for it most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean 99% of the
Yeah.
time. But they
just
have
shut the fuck up.
Hey,
Yeah.
just don't. It's my wedding, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that. So basically, the guest list,
What they'll wear.
what they'll wear, what the father will also wear,
Yeah.
what the mom will wear. It has to, then what the others. I mean, basically everything. The food, of course.
Yeah.
What type of wedding? Is it going to be destination? Is it going to be this thing? What kind of decorations?
And
color
often they
scheme?
also, if they're a successful couple, they'll put in some money of their own as well.
And they might even say, we don't want your help and all.
Yeah.
They might go, if
We
that's
don't want
the way,
gifts.
then we just don't want you to, because this is our moment. Something
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and-
All that, yeah.
See, what I also figured is that generally the wedding for me,
Yeah.
like for me, I would have not had it if it was up to me.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's a notional thing, as in like the commitment is between two people, right? But generally, if
Just
you're
have a
having
registration.
registration, whatever, court, this thing, and then it's fine. But if you're doing it,
Yeah.
it's generally also, I mean, of course, there is joy in doing it, getting a group of people together and all that, but it's generally so that the families feel as though something has happened.
Yeah.
And it's for the families to feel
Have a
good
party,
and
yeah.
have a party and just get mingle, get to know each other and feel like, oh, this is now a real thing. And now we have to these are the two families, but it's their celebration, right? So for society to approve of the thing, it's, oh, they did a thing and
But earlier,
Yeah.
the parents had a lot of agency.
A lot of
so
agency.
many Hindi films. Ye
Because
shaadi nahi ho sakti.
because it was about their thing.
I mean, if you did one of those old Karan Johar type films, or even Dilwale Dulhania, Yash Raj type films today, and a patriarch like Amrish Puri said, "Ye shaadi nahi ho sakti," some child would say, "Who the fuck are you,
Yeah.
uncle?" He'd get. I mean, that film would end very differently.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times, if something has to be sorted, something delicate, then a relative or an uncle, they wouldn't want to piss off the bride or groom. They'll always come to a parent. And I feel like that's the wrong negotiation. Say in a building society, you sometimes go and negotiate with some guy and the person says, but the flat is not in my name. But the flat is in my mother's name. They're like, we're talking to the wrong person only. The flat is only not in his name. So that's like that. Right? We go to a father, says, just tell your son. And the father will also pretend like he has agency. And he's like, I'll tell my son, I'll tell my daughter, I'll convince her. I can't do shit. He goes to the daughter and the daughter says, get out of my room.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll get out of here. So he has nothing. He's like, I talked to her, it's all sorted. I talked to her. What is sorted? The thing that we said, it's still there, still going ahead with that stripper, whatever. It's not sorted. How will we have a stripper? We have an uncle coming all the way from Surat. If there's going to be a male stripper now, what is he going to say? So I've realized you got to directly go to the party now. Because the parents have no role anymore.
See, it's out of our hands.
Yeah.
That's now.
And then the other part.
Ultimately, it's what they want.
Yeah. He's like, bastard, but earlier, when you said you'd handle it, you said that you will take care of it. I thought you're the father of the groom. I thought you'd be able to handle it. No. You see, I tried talking to them. So they are actually useless.
They have no
Weak parties.
They have no agency.
No agency anymore.
And no status, actually.
Nobody at the wedding. In fact, if you ask them, so what are the things planned?
Yeah.
Oftentimes they may not know also. Like some of the...
They have. Yeah. It's
I think there's a DJ.
Yeah.
Right? It's quite sad because parents used to be very powerful players.
And now they also eat like the guests and all only, and they say this is quite nice. Have you tried this? Like it's not that that otherwise it would always be. Have you eaten? Have you tried? Now they are also eating at the same time because for them also it's all new.
We don't know the caterer. The couple
they decided. It was all
he's
there.
He's a big caterer. I think it's some Portuguese type food.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah.
But they are nobody. They have no agency.
It's
good to see a generation.
And also, I think we're looking at a certain kind of section of society.
Yeah, imagine.
I mean,
mainstream India.
Yeah, mainstream India still works on a different sort of
basis. You want to marry? No. Then we'll set you on fire.
Yeah.
That's mainstream India.
Correct.
Kunaal, I had an odd conundrum.
Yes.
So, I'm moving, as you know.
Yes.
And a lady from the moving company called me. And she said, it was a bit of an odd conversation. So I said, is it related to my moving? Because I'm moving next week. And she said, no, sir. I'm the moving and all is fine. I'm just calling to ask, sir, aap kuch ho kya? I said, what? As in, for our English listeners, are you anyone? So I was like, I'm someone. And she said, nay, but are you like a celeb type person? I said, what? And I got quite annoyed because I was in the middle of something. And then I said, please don't call me if it's not related to the move. And she got very flustered and she said, I'm really, really sorry, sir. No, please don't complain to my boss. And then she sent me 4-5 short messages. Because on the phone she was like, no, I Googled you and I found that you are someone. Are you someone? And I was like, I mean, I don't know what you mean. Like, I think she probably found that I was in the entertainment line or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know what conversation you wanted to have about that. But I was quite rude. And I was like,
Little curt.
I was curt. I was like, "Iska koi matlab nahi hai with the move." And she said, "No, no, हाँ, you're right. Koi matlab nahi hai. I'm sorry." And then she hung up and she was like, sent me a few messages. Now I'm worried because I want the move to go smoothly, and I don't want this person to be pissed off. Now you have dealt with this in real life in different ways because you have fans.
Yeah.
There's a film coming out right now, a Hindi film called Selfie, which came out about a disgruntled fan who demands a selfie and then the selfie is rejected.
Right.
And then he goes and makes the star suffer
Right.
in other ways by having him go through many bureaucratic hurdles, by showing what power he has. Now, this lady has the power of my move. And by me being curt, should I have just said, I'm a minor celebrity? I don't know what I should have done.
I don't think you were rude, but I'm saying that I think it's good because now, now the stage is set for like, we're not going to be talking about any of that. And, the move needs to be smooth and all of that. Because sometimes what happens is that, like, and what I found is...
you don't think she's going to be like, let me just fuck up his move?
No, I don't think so. I'll tell you what's worse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's worse. See, the move will probably be fucked up either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like whether she
my stuff
knew
is
or
going
didn't know,
somewhere
it's
wrong.
going to go. It's going to get screwed, and you're
Yeah.
going to have a problem.
Huge.
Generally, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, you're shifting a large number of things and multiple boxes and tags, and it's
all
like
lost.
the thing that it's all high tech. But something is going to either go in a flood or something's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to be left homeless in Paris.
Right.
Yeah.
But what happens is that, see, you have set this on the right note.
Yes.
Let's just keep this official, okay?
Yeah.
It's
Please.
please. Let's just, and it's cut there and it's done. What happens is that sometimes, like what's happened with me is that the person says, "Sir, I know you, so you sir, one selfie," and then one selfie happens, and then you have to be very nice. Yeah, of course. So don't worry, we look after everything. So I've spoken to my seniors also. They are assuring you the best service possible, and so then all that happens, and then they become very sweet and friendly and all that, and then what happens is the fuck up happens because it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's just the way it's going to, like, something's going to go missing or some box doesn't show up or whatever it is. Now, it's more difficult because now you are friends with that person.
Jesus, yeah.
So, and that person now has established that you are now a person who's known.
So the box is lost.
So the box is... So
I'm coming to your house, wait.
And then what happens is that you can't shout.
No.
Because now what happens is that now you'll be shouting as a celebrity. So whatever celebrity. But then it'll be like, just look at him. He's nobody and he's shouting like this. You know what I'm saying? So then, who does he think he is? So then there's no winning. There's no winning. So what happens is that I googled him. He's some small time kind of comic or whatever it is.
And who
he
does he
some
think?
podcast. Who does he think he's talking to me? Sir, please don't talk like. So I'm saying
we treat all our customers equally.
The same. Something that what happens is that there's no way to win in this situation.
No way to win
because and you find it very difficult to, like, you want to shout. You want to lose your shit. You want to just be a customer in that moment.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a celebrity, a known person, specialty. You just want to be able to shout.
So you're saying that I accidentally did the right thing by just telling her, please, personal budget. Please, personal budget.
Let's not get into that.
It was like we're about to bring start an affair or something.
Correct. Like, let's not. Please. So what I think should happen is that, if all this needs to happen, at the end you should hold off all of this. And at the end of the thing, once your boxes are there open, things have come out, nothing is destroyed, nothing is painted green, nothing has changed its shape or form, it's all settled back into your other place and all that, then at the end of that you can have this thing. So I'm only going to call you all in the future. I mean, and you have given me such wonderful... Sir, I know you, sir. You're
Kunaal Rai Kapoor.
Sir, can we please... Then it's fine.
Because if the work is
done. But I'm saying that if you do it at the onset, without the work being done, okay, then you are no longer customer. Then you're celebrity customer who they will probably give good attention, special attention, maybe, who knows. But the screw up will happen either way.
100%.
So just I think that what you've done is actually good now.
Don't touch me.
Please.
Just at the outset.
And this has happened to me also. Because when I was calling on a complaint and shouting, I said, sir, 1 minute. Aapo. And then you have to change, like, oh God, now I can't shout. Oh,
God, my dog is lost.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you.
sir,
man.
आप वो actor? हाँ, मैं वो actor. हाँ.
Sir, I love you, sir. I love your
हाँ, हाँ,
performance,
हाँ.
sir. We'll give
जरा
you.
आप ये देख सकते, so then you want to burst, you know,
Yeah.
you want to
मेरा
say,
कुत्ता कहाँ है? Then you just be like, Arey, Kunal Roy Kapoor, he is so nice in films, calm, mild guy.
shouted.
Shouted is very rude.
Very bad.
Very bad. Kunal,
Yes.
I had a conundrum. I just got a call. I don't want to name the channel, whatever. Let's say it sounds like MTV.
Okay.
It just sounds like it. Rhymes with. Now, they said, "Oh, we want you to do something. We'd love for you to come and do this little thing, but we're looking at giving you extreme exposure. We don't have a budget, but we plan to give you extreme exposure.
We plan to give you extreme exposure.
Extreme exposure. I think what they're trying to say is that they'll put you on TV and do ads or whatever nowadays.
Yeah.
This thing. But I was quite taken by the words extreme exposure. And two questions. One, have you ever been in a situation where someone's called you and said, "We don't have any money, but we'll do various things with you"? And two, this lady says, "Please call me back and tell me what kind of extreme exposure you would like in lieu of payment." And I want to know if you had any suggestions for how extremely exposed I should be in lieu of payment from MTV.
Yeah. So, so I think what they're trying to say is that, we will plaster your face all over the city. You will be seen, you will be heard, you will be in print, you will be on the radio, you will be all over media. I mean, everybody will be talking about you for like one day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'll be.
But we won't pay you.
What do you want to pay you? I think extreme exposure. The problem with extreme exposure that I have also found is that it is extreme. You always want the right amount of exposure.
It's correct.
And this
Don't
goes
put
with
me on every toothpaste.
yeah, because see, this goes with right from A-rated films to pornography. There's a line.
Yeah.
There's exposure, which is titillation, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Like a lot of famous actors and actresses have
Yeah.
exposed up to a level.
Yeah.
That's exposure. When you get into extreme exposure, it becomes pornography.
It's dirty.
Right? It's dirty, and then it's spoiled for you. I mean,
Now, there was a time, I remember, where you were promoting a film and some brilliant person sort of suggested that they dangle you from a hoarding.
from a hoarding, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Now-
a very high, 8-story high hoarding on Andheri Link Road, and then they said we'll put you on a harness, and then you'll fall down from the hoarding.
Now, how long did they expect it to be up? That's quite extreme exposure.
See, it's extreme. Now the exposure part was their responsibility. I brought the extreme. Okay, I said what I'm going to be doing is extreme. Okay,
Because you don't often wake up in the morning,
I don't
get a coffee.
and I was the father of 2 children. My children are little babies, and I'm dangling there on around the 6th floor of a hoarding in the middle of Andheri, and some
and you're
stunt
thinking this
director
better
saying,
be worth.
yeah, and I was thinking that this better
What
be
is
worth
the
something, because
financial
I'm
value
really
of
bringing extreme here. I'm bringing the
You
extreme.
brought it.
The exposure was lacking.
Because imagine-
The exposure is the exposure of that event. Like now, whatever happens, now someone does something extreme. Oh my God, that guy's extreme. But where did you see it? I don't know. No one saw it. So I'm saying that then that exposure part. So both the factors are there.
Yeah. So let's say if they tell me, what we'd like you to do is be totally naked
Right.
at that Starbucks on Carter Road.
Right. But then you're bringing the exposure.
I'm bringing that part. Then it's the opposite.
Then it's the opposite. You're
Well,
bringing
I'm bringing the
exposure.
extreme also.
No. You're bringing exposure in that
Okay.
situation.
Then now, what's even sadder is if no one covers that.
That's what I'm saying. So
Is
that's
that
the,
if you're just a naked guy
yeah.
who's
And
there
nobody cares.
and you're and you're shooed away
Yeah.
by the Starbucks.
And one lathi is given to you on your ass.
In my last question to you, what is the most embarrassing bit of extreme exposure you've had to do to publicize something? Or what is the more than embarrassing? What is the oddest thing you think you ever did, apart from dangling from a hoarding?
Well, that wasn't all. I mean, I was okay doing that. I've done I mean, I've had to go to places, and I think I've discussed this before, which had nothing to do with the movie that I was promoting.
Right. And were they aware that there was a film coming out?
They were aware, but it was, I think, when you do those cross-promotional things where someone has paid for your hotel stay or someone has paid for, your airline ticket, and they need you to make an appearance at there. So I've been to jewelry stores, I've been to a plywood, they dealt in laminates. So we were there promoting a film, but there were mostly laminates around us. And then
And what's the conversation? Because that
helmet place also, where they were basically bike and helmet was some sort of showroom for helmets and bikes.
But the proprietor wants to sell his helmet.
Someone has come to the city and they have stopped off at this store, so it makes a photograph.
Yeah.
And then
So
that
he
photograph
shakes
gets
your
printed
hand.
and you get some exposure, even though it's not extreme,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it
There
is
is
some
some-
exposure.
So they're both exposed. He's exposed, you're
He's
exposed.
yeah.
But then you're shaking hands with some helmets behind you. And then when the press asks you, आपको कैसा लग रहा है ये helmet के दुकान में?
बहुत अच्छा.
How do you bring the film into it?
Well, sometimes it's hard because when it was that laminate and plywood place, and you're saying that, okay, this film is a comedy about, it's about whatever. We were promoting a movie which was one guy helping another guy. It was difficult to figure out how we're going to get laminates into this.
Correct.
What is the laminate
And the guy
angle?
would be upset if you don't bring it in.
Yeah,
He's
you're
paid for
having
your
a sort
hotels.
of press conference in the laminate showroom. So
Yeah. And at night when you're ordering the room service,
Hmm.
you'd be upset that you didn't bring in the...
I mean, I wouldn't be, but the guy would be, yeah.
Yeah. But even somebody you feel guilty. I mean, he's
Yeah.
paying for your hotel room. Say you order a nice butter chicken, you're
Yeah.
eating it. Thinking, shit, I should have brought in some plywood,
Yeah.
into that thing. Because maybe there was a way to say, ye film dosti ki hai.
Yeah.
Attachments.
I mean,
And
I
plywood अच्छा से attach होता है against the wall. or
I've been for a press conference once.
Mm-hmm.
We went to another city and we went for a press conference and nobody came for the press conference.
something. That is extreme.
From the press.
That can be extreme.
So that was quite extreme.
That's like any of my stand-up shows. I do them. It's a fiduciary relationship. I show up to
Yeah.
perform, but often the audience doesn't come.
Right.
So, but you need both parties to attend.
Yeah.
What did you do in that circumstance?
Nothing. I took a
It's
video.
like a day off, really.
Yeah. I took a video saying crowds going crazy at press conference. It was an empty sort of hall. There was no one there.
This is the thing. Also,
Can't hold them back.
yeah, that is again not your fault because you've done your bit.
Yeah.
You've showed up ready to expose.
I was ready to expose.
If you don't expose me,
Yeah.
then there's some fault of
Some
you.
problem.
This has been our last week.
This has.
We are the makers of conundrums, and you can help us make them, and we can
Please do.
make conundrums together.
So send in your conundrums to our last week at audiomatic.in and go to patreon.com/our last week and subscribe. Become subscribers.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
You were listening to Our Last Week, produced by Rajesh Tahil and Avdoot Khanolkar, hosted by Anuvab Pal and Kunaal Roy Kapoor, assistant producers Akansha Kadam and Rahul Vaswani.